Hey y'all, and welcome to Peyton's Place, where life is made simple. Here on Peyton's Place, I'm going to talk to you about life as a young adult, all things college, and also talk about activism as well. On this episode, I'm going to tell you why it is worth it to move out of your hometown in your 20s. I know in the other video that you all really liked, I told you all reasons why you should move out of your hometown in your 20s, but now I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary of living here in Dallas, Texas. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 414, you already know. Shout out to my city. But I want to tell y'all why it's worth it from a personal experience after doing it for 2 years, because this has honestly been one of the best decisions I could have personally made. So I want to share that with y'all, because that somebody might be sitting here thinking if they should move, debating on it, and I want to encourage you to do it because it's been the best decision I could have made as an adult. Before we get started, I want to make sure you all subscribe and turn on your post notifications, hit that little bell so you never miss an episode, because I told y'all I'm coming with the content every week and you don't want to miss an episode because it's fire every week, fire. So make sure y'all subscribe and turn on your post notifications, and let's get started. So I'm gonna keep it real simple and get straight to the point, and I'm gonna give y'all 3 reasons why moving out of your hometown in your 20s is totally worth it. The first reason is it forces you to become more independent. And when I say that, I'm gonna break it up. The main thing is you're moving away from your friends and family, and with that you're going to a place that's new and different. Even if you visited that place before, I've visited Dallas many times before I moved here, and living here is totally different than when you come visit. And I've been here a few times before, but like living here is totally different. And it can be little things like living in a different state from the state that you were originally living in could be huge. We all know Texas is a whole different breed, but even little things like I used to be able to ask my parents for things, but like back home in Wisconsin, there's 2 big energy companies. Here in Texas, you have to shop for energy. So I can't call my mom and dad and be like, what company should I use? Like I had to learn what the kilowatts and all the extra stuff was. I'm just like, I don't know what this is. So it really forced me to be independent, like all kind of things. I had to figure out where to take my car. I had to find a doctor. I had to find just normal things that were just so everyday and made simple to me because I lived back home with my parents. I had to start all over. And so I really became independent. And when I tell y'all, I feel like an adult, like bill wise, but also just like having to figure things out on your own. And the feeling is so rewarding. So I would say that's why it's worth it. The first reason, because I would not have been this independent if I hadn't moved away from Milwaukee. The second thing is you grow more when you're in uncomfortable situations or new environments in general. And there's 3 different ways that you can grow. You can grow your career wise, you can grow personally, and you can also grow financially. And those are the 3 main ways that I personally grew when I moved away from Milwaukee. So as far as career wise, one of the big things is you can expand your network. It's always about who you know, but who knows you. And moving away from back home in Wisconsin, I had a strong network in Milwaukee and Madison as well, where I went to college. But then I moved here to Dallas and I knew nobody. So I had to start from scratch networking. And I had to relearn how to network, but also now I've tapped into multiple different networks here in Dallas just in my 2 years. So now I'm like, I got Wisconsin on lock, or at least, you know, the main 2 cities network wise. And now I'm starting to really build my network here in Dallas, which is going to be so beneficial for you in the long run. Being able to know people, because people move all the time. You can know somebody who's the president of a company in Wisconsin, and then now all of a sudden they move and they're the president of some huge company in LA, and that's where you want to move and live. It's the network. The other thing that comes with networking is those opportunities. So just knowing people and having people know you and your work ethic is so important. And when you move, you're able to expand that. So you can grow your career. Growing your career most of the time means more money. Who doesn't like money? You know, not saying that money is the main route for your career, but I don't know anybody who don't like making money. So the second thing, the other growth I would say is personal growth. So one of the things I was able to do was to make new friends. I had such a solid core group of friends back in college, back home. And when I moved here, I didn't have any friends. So I'm just like, what am I gonna do? And I'm not a very outgoing person. I might come across like that on the camera, but you know, I feel like we family at this point. You know, y'all part of the Peyton's Place family, so it's different. But I had to make new friends, and it's been really fun to like go do new things with people, to make those connections. And then those are like friendships that you have for life, most of the time. So then even with that too, like some of my friends that I've made here have already moved, and now I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna come out there to New York or wherever they at, and I'm gonna visit you. And like, I made that friendship here in Dallas from moving out of my hometown, where I'm around all of the same people that I grew up with all of my life. So you're able to make new friends and expand your network in that way too, and just building those really solid core relationships. Another thing, you might have new goals that you didn't have before. So when I lived in Milwaukee, I feel like I had very much tunnel vision. Like, I saw the route that I could take because I've seen, you know, a few people take it. I'm just like, I have to follow all of these steps exactly, and this is the only way I can go. But when I moved to Dallas, I started looking at things differently, because there were a lot of people, young adults, young Black people, who were doing the same thing I was doing, like mentally just trying to get to the next level, trying to be successful, very driven. And I was just like, okay, I could do more with my life. Like, it's not just what I see back home and what I've been seeing my whole life. It opened my eyes to so much more, and that expanded my goals personally. And then from there, I feel like I was able to grow as well, because now I'm trying to attain higher goals that I wasn't even seeing before when I was back home. So that's been a great help as well. And then the next thing is, the environments outside of your hometown can oftentimes be more supportive. So I like to put things in perspective and use real life situations, not just my own. I'm a huge Young Dolph fan, and we all know what tragically happened to him. But people in your city hate on you. They will hate on you.
More fame, richer, whatever you get, the more success you get, is the more angry
that
the people didn't like you. And you sitting there in their face.
I mean, you're gonna have haters everywhere, but when you coming up with people and y'all are initially like on the same level, and then all of a sudden you might start to outgrow people just naturally. Other people are gonna outgrow you as well, but people are gonna hate, and people aren't as supportive of you in your hometown, and that's just how it is. Like, all my friends here that I've talked to have said the same thing as well. Like, they found a different type of support here in Dallas among the friendships and among the people that they've met. Like, we're not in competition. There's enough room for everyone to succeed, which is the case in your hometown as well. But I think when you're coming up with people and you're all of a sudden like elevating and moving to a higher, moving to new steps in your life, and some people are moving at a slower rate or have different goals, sometimes that could bring on a lot of hate, and a lot of, you know, people could try to pull you back down. And here in Dallas, I just feel like not only are people supportive and happy when I do well, but they try to help me as well. Like, I feel like I've always personally said people's names in rooms that they're not in. If I know they can do this and I know they can do that, I'm just like, put her on. Like, you know, she could do this, he could do that. And I didn't feel that reciprocated back in Wisconsin. I felt more so like people felt like they were in competition with me. So it was more of like me helping people, but it wasn't reciprocated, which is cool because I'm not doing it to be reciprocated. But it was just refreshing and a very different feeling when I came here to Dallas, and people were so supportive and like helping me even though they weren't getting anything from it. Like, I hadn't received that peer-wise before in my career until I came here. So if you're looking for that strong support system as well to give you that extra push, move out of your hometown. The next thing is financial growth. So financially, I feel like not only did I grow because I was able to expand my career more here in Dallas, but once you become an adult and you have bills and you're like, you can't call your parents anymore. And I mean, some people reach the point where they can't call their parents way sooner than others, but I was blessed to where until I was out of college, I was able to call my parents if I like really needed something. But like once I moved across the country, like what I'm gonna call my parents to help me for? They're gonna be like, you have a job and you left and you're doing well, like, you know, girl, you got it. So I had to make better financial decisions. I was forced to like make a budget. I had never made a budget in my life, but personal budget. Like I made budgets for organizations I was in and stuff like that, but like a personal budget, I was the person where I was like, you know, as long as I got enough money in my account to live, I'm good as a college student. But once you have like multiple bills and taxes, y'all, why ain't nobody tell me that taxes, they take so much money?
Where's all your money gone, Daddy?
Taxes. 9.
Like, it's just different. You have to be more financially together, and moving really forced me to do that because I moved, I got my own apartment, I got a new car, I moved to a different tax bracket. Like, it was just a lot of different things that I had never experienced being in college before that I had to experience now, and it had to make me become have better financial literacy, honestly. And I don't think I would have had that if I would have stayed in Milwaukee, because I would have felt more comfortable and felt like I kind of had more of a cushion being so close to my parents and having that option to move back if I needed to. And lastly, all of these things have made me feel so confident in myself personally. I remember being in college and I was just nervous that I wouldn't find a job and that I wouldn't be somewhere that I enjoyed, or I would be stuck. And when I moved, I was nervous. I was so nervous. So I get it if you're nervous and you're thinking about it and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. I want to tell y'all that you can do this. Like, if you're thinking about it, that probably means that you need to go ahead and do it. But moving was honestly one of the best decisions I could have made as a young adult. And the thing that I really got out of it was just confidence in myself. I saw that I was able to uproot and move across the country as a 22-year-old 4 days after graduating college and start a whole new life in a place I had never lived before, was never used to, or any of that. And the confidence I gained in myself, like, I truly, sometimes I'm just like, I could do this. Like, if I'm ever questioning myself, I'm like, I moved out my hometown and started a whole new life for myself. Like, it built up a self-confidence that I didn't know I needed, and also that I didn't know was there. And that's something that I take with me in my career and with my friendships, relationships, anything. Just that confidence of knowing you can do it is big and it's major. And I promise y'all, moving out of your hometown in your 20s will give you that. So if you're sitting there and you're questioning, I feel like that person from the education connection or whatever video, you're like, if you're sitting there on the couch, you need to go back to school.
Sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life is passing you by.
But honestly, y'all, if you're sitting there and you're thinking like, should I do this? Do it. Just do it. Dang, now I'm quoting Nike too. It's no sponsorships in this video, but if you were thinking about it, do it. It's going to be such a great move for you, and when you look back on it, you're going to be so grateful that you did. If any of you have any questions as far as like moving or tips, feel free to comment, and I'm typically quick at responding to comments. Let me know if there's anything else that you all want me to talk about specifically, go a little more into detail. I'm here to help and talk about my experiences and how they can potentially help y'all. So if there's anything y'all want me to talk about, comment below and let me know. If you haven't already, I want to ask you once again to subscribe and turn on your post notifications as well, because every week we're coming with new content and I don't want y'all to miss that, because my goal is to help y'all and to teach people. Just like I be on YouTube scrolling, looking at people's stuff, learning new things, I hope that I'm able to do the same for someone. And even if it's just one person, I've achieved that goal. We're on the road to getting 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you are subscribed. And until then, I'll catch you next week on Peyton's Place.